Welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we dive deep into the most fascinating stories from science and history. Today, we're traveling back in time, not to watch dinosaurs, but to watch what hunted them. Forget everything you think you know about crocodiles. Forget the slow, semi-aquatic lurkers waiting at the water's edge. We're going to Cretaceous Patagonia, a land of giants, to meet a lost dynasty of apex predators. Crocodiles that walked tall, ran on long legs, and competed directly with dinosaurs for the throne. For millions of years, the earth of ancient South America trembled under the feet of colossal beings. This was a world ruled by titans. 70-ton sauropods like Patagonian stripped leaves from the tops of conifer trees. But stalking these giants was a different kind of monster. A group of terrestrial crocodylomorphs who had evolved to conquer the land. For decades, the fossil-rich badlands of Patagonia have been feeding us clues, and now the picture is becoming clear. The age of dinosaurs was also, unequivocally, an age of crocodiles. The broader family to which modern crocs belong, the Crocodylomorpha, has an incredibly diverse evolutionary history. They first appeared in the Triassic and experimented with all sorts of lifestyles. Some were tiny and agile, some were herbivores, and some even became marine predators. But perhaps their most remarkable experiment was the Notosuchia, a clade of mostly land-dwelling crocodylomorphs that thrived on the supercontinent of Gondwana. These were not your average crocs. Many of them evolved an erect posture, with their legs positioned directly under their bodies, much like a mammal or a dinosaur. This simple shift untethered them from the water and allowed them to become efficient and often surprisingly fast movers on solid ground. Their skulls also became highly specialized. Instead of the flat profile we see today, their heads became taller, shorter, and more robust. This was paired with a revolutionary change in their teeth. Modern crocs have simple, conical teeth for gripping and drowning. Notosuchians developed complex, heterodont dentition. That means they had different types of teeth for different jobs, just like us. They had large, canine-like teeth for gripping and tearing, and some even had multi-cusped, molar-like teeth for processing a wider variety of food. This dental toolkit allowed them to be omnivores, herbivores, and most terrifyingly, hypercarnivores. And it was in Patagonia that these land crocs reached their absolute zenith as apex predators. Two families, in particular, rose to become the stuff of dinosaur nightmares, the Baurusuchidae and the Peirosauridae. Let's start with the Baurusuchidae, a family of predators so well adapted to a terrestrial hunting lifestyle that they've been nicknamed dinosaur mimics. They are a stunning example of convergent evolution, independently developing many of the same deadly tools as the theropod dinosaurs they lived alongside. The skull of a Baurusuchid was a weapon. It was tall, deep, and flattened from side to side, looking remarkably like the head of a carnivorous dinosaur. Their teeth were xiphidont, which is a key feature. This means they were flattened, curved, and serrated like steak knives, perfect for slicing through flesh and bone, not for gripping and drowning. Powerful jaw muscles suggest they could deliver swift, devastating bites. The likely strategy was to ambush prey, sink in those blade-like teeth, and use powerful neck muscles to tear and subdue their victims, much like a Komodo dragon does today. Their bodies were also built for action. An erect stance and powerful limbs meant they were far more mobile on land than any modern crocodilian. They probably weren't marathon runners, but they were certainly capable of shocking bursts of speed to chase down prey. Some evidence even suggests that species like Baurusuchus could dig burrows, perhaps to find water or escape the heat. This would have made them true masters of the terrestrial realm. One of the most famous members is Baurusuchus itself, from Brazil, which shared a similar environment with Patagonia. This predator weighed up to 250 pounds and likely competed directly with theropod dinosaurs for food. But we have confirmed Patagonian Baurusuchids as well. Take Baurusuchidae australis, discovered in Argentina's Neuquén province. Although it's known from fragmentary remains, its features clearly place it in this formidable family, showing these land sharks were a widespread threat. While the Baurusuchids were the sleek, blade-toothed killers, another family, the Peirosauridae, carved out their own niche as broad-snouted brutes. They were also widespread across Gondwana and are very well represented in Patagonia's fossil record. Peirosaurids generally had a more dog-like or broad snout, and their teeth showed a different specialization. They often had a mix of conical teeth at the front and more robust, even globular teeth further back. This suggests a powerful, crushing bite, in addition to slicing ability, and a recent discovery has completely changed our understanding of just how formidable these predators were. In 2025, paleontologists announced the discovery of Crocodylomorphs atrox in the Carrillo Formation of southern Patagonia. Living around 70 million years ago, right at the end of the Cretaceous, Crocodylomorphs was a true apex predator. Its name translates to fierce wind crocodile, and it lived up to it. It measured about 11.5 feet long and weighed an estimated 550 pounds. Its broad, powerful snout was packed with large, robust, serrated teeth, and its skull had massive chambers for jaw-closing muscles, indicating a devastatingly strong bite. The robust nature of its forelimbs suggests it was capable of grappling with and subduing large prey, which very likely included the medium-sized dinosaurs common in its ecosystem. In fact, Crocodylomorphs was the second largest predator known from its environment, sharing the top of the food chain with a giant megaraptorid theropod named Maiop macrothorax. Well, come back to that fascinating partnership later. To truly appreciate these dinosaur-hunting crocodiles, we have to visualize the world they lived in. Cretaceous Patagonia was nothing like the arid plains of today. It was a land of dramatic landscapes with a warm, seasonally humid climate. Vast freshwater floodplains stretched across the region, crisscrossed by meandering rivers and dotted with lakes. This was the lifeblood of the ecosystem, supporting a rich flora. Imagine forests of conifers, like modern monkey puzzle trees, with a lush understory of ferns and cycads. In the wetlands, water lilies and lotuses flourished. The rise of flowering plants, including relatives of modern palms, was adding new layers to this green world. This vibrant plant life supported an almost unbelievable array of herbivorous dinosaurs, which in turn provided a feast for a guild of predators. The rivers teemed with fish and turtles, and early mammals scurried in the shadows. This was the stage where the great predator-prey dramas played out, an ecosystem so robust it could support multiple types of large predators all at once. So what exactly was on the menu for these land crocs? At the top of the list in terms of sheer size were the titanosaurian sauropods. Patagonia was the land of giants, home to behemoths like Patagonian majorum and Argentinosaurus. An adult Patagonian, at 70 tons, was an unassailable fortress of flesh and bone. No single predator could take one down. But the young, the old, or the sick were a different story. It's highly probable that a group of Baurusuchids, or a large parasaurid like Crocodylomorphs, wouldn't hesitate to attack a juvenile titanosaur. We've found multiple Patagonian skeletons in single locations, suggesting they sometimes died in natural catastrophes like droughts. Such an event would have created a massive food bonanza for every carnivore in the region, including our crocodylomorphs. But more realistically, the day-to-day prey for these crocs would have been the abundant, medium-sized herbivorous dinosaurs, like the ornithopods. The powerful jaws of Crocodylomorphs would have been perfectly suited for crushing the bones and tearing the flesh of these animals. Their fossils are found everywhere in these formations, indicating a steady, reliable food source. Even the armored ankylosaurs weren't completely safe, while their bony plates and tail clubs were a great defense. A powerful and determined predator could have potentially flipped a smaller one over, to attack its vulnerable underbelly. These encounters were certainly possible. But the crocodylomorphs weren't hunting in a vacuum. They shared their territory with fearsome theropod dinosaurs. These included the truly gigantic carcharodontosaurids like Giganotosaurs, which rivaled T-Rex in size, and the deadly megaraptorids like Mape Macrothorax. The coexistence of these two top predator guilds, land crocs and theropods, raises one of the most interesting questions in paleontology. How did they all survive? The answer seems to be niche partitioning. It seems that in Cretaceous Patagonia, the role of top predator wasn't held by a single king, but was divided amongst a diverse court of killers. The bipedal theropods may have focused on different prey or used different hunting grounds than the quadrupedal crocodylomorphs. Remember Costensukis, the Peirosaurid, and Mape, the megaraptorid? They ruled the southern ecosystems of the Carrillo Formation together. This suggests a complex and regionally varied balance, where crocodiles and dinosaurs shared and competed for the throne. The anatomy of these crocs tells us so much about how they hunted. The Baurusuchidae, with their erect posture and blade-like snouts, were likely active pursuit predators, at least over short distances. They might have tracked prey by smell, then exploded in a burst of speed to deliver a devastating slashing bite. Their skulls were built for speed and slicing, designed to deflesh a carcass with brutal efficiency. The Peirosauridae, like Costensukis with their broader snouts, probably used a different strategy. Their powerful jaws suggest a crushing bite was a key part of their arsenal, allowing them to tackle more robust prey and break through bone. They might have been masters of the transitional zone, comfortable on the floodplain and at the water's edge, using cover to launch a crushing ambush. Now, direct evidence of crocs eating dinosaurs is the holy grail for paleontologists. It's incredibly rare, but it exists. One of the most spectacular examples comes from Australia, which was part of the same Gondwanan supercontinent. A 95-million-year-old fossil of a crocodiliform named Confractosuchus was discovered with the partial skeleton of a young ornithopod dinosaur preserved in its stomach. This is the smoking gun. It's undeniable proof that these ancient crocodiles ate dinosaurs. In Patagonia, we find other clues, like bite marks on dinosaur bones, that perfectly match the size and shape of notosuchian teeth. Imagine the scene. A young titanosaur, separated from the herd, wanders too close to a thicket of ferns. Hidden inside, a Baurusuchus waits. With a sudden lunge, the land croc sinks its serrated teeth into the dinosaur's leg. The battle is short and brutal. Or maybe a Costensukis, patrolling a floodplain, spots a lone ornithopod. It uses the vegetation for cover, closes the distance, and launches its attack, its broad jaws clamping down with bone-shattering force. This was the reality in Cretaceous Patagonia, a world where dinosaurs had every reason to fear the crocodiles. For millions of years, these terrestrial crocodylomorphs thrived. They were a successful and terrifying group of predators that stood shoulder to shoulder with dinosaurs at the top of the food chain. But their reign, like that of the non-avian dinosaurs, was doomed. The cataclysmic asteroid impact 66 million years ago plunged the world into darkness and chaos. The subsequent mass extinction wiped out an estimated 75% of life on Earth. The hypercarnivorous notosuchians of Patagonia, the mighty Baurusuchids and Peirosaurids, vanished. Their fate was tied directly to the giant herbivores they hunted. When the ecosystems collapsed and their food source disappeared, these magnificent predators followed them into extinction. But remarkably, that wasn't the end of the story for all of them. At least one group of terrestrial crocs, the Cebicids, managed to survive the extinction event. They crossed the boundary and continued to roam South America in the Cenozoic era, long after the last of the giant dinosaurs were gone, a final testament to the resilience of the crocodylomorph lineage. The discovery of Patagonia's dinosaur-hunting crocodiles has rewritten our understanding of Cretaceous ecosystems. They reveal a world far more complex than we ever imagined. a world where the title of apex predator was fiercely contested. These fossils, dug from the windswept plains of southern Argentina, are the remnants of a lost dynasty, a time when crocodiles walked tall and hunted giants, proving that the age of dinosaurs was also an age of crocodiles. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online. Join us next time as we uncover another incredible story from our amazing world.